Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Mouthful with Marcus. Today we're chatting with Luke Wulff, an inspiring 20-year-old social media creator who completely changed his life through fitness. Together we dive deep into his journey from being a chubby, picked-on kid to an absolute unit who's now on a mission to get people excited about getting in shape. Luke shares some valuable insights on the struggles and the turning points that led to his incredible transformation, which leaves us with some practical tips that we can use in our own lives. And that's that. Let's get into the episode. I'm a little bit nervous, Luke. Ooh.
Don't be nervous, buddy. Don't be shy, please.
And that's the podcast right there. Let's get straight into it,
Let's
brother.
get into it.
Hello, welcome, Luke, to the podcast. It's nice to see you. You're a big motherfucking guy.
Oh, thank
with
you.
Big motherfucking shoes. And anyways, Luke, tell me a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
So my name is Luke Wulff.
Hi, Luke Wulff.
How you doing? I am from Murray Bridge, which is about an hour from Adelaide, out in the country, brother. I'm 20 years old. I love to go to the gym. I love to make content. I still work a regular job. I'm working at a cheese factory, which is all right, but definitely looking to push to make social media my full-time career.
I have no doubt that'll happen. I've been watching your content. I've done my research on you now for the podcast, but in my research, I realized videos that I would see from 2 years ago, I've been watching you for a very long time.
That's great. That's amazing.
Guys, for a bit about Luke, I'm sure I've already said it in the introduction you've just watched, but he's a funny motherfucker and he's fucking huge. Now, the reason I want him on the podcast today is regardless of his funniness, I like the message that he sends, especially to the younger generations of, hey, I've got a bit of a story. Jim has really helped me with that story and has really helped me become who I am today. And now he's, above and beyond being an absolute fucking hooligan, right? Funny guy. When he is serious, when you catch him being serious, he's saying, guys, he wants people to go into the gym. He wants people to have their health. He wants people to strive to be their best and make things of their full-time career and their passions and their dreams. And I thought, you know what? Fuck it. He's the perfect person for this. Speaking of, as I do with this podcast every episode, I want to start from the beginning because I feel like any hero's arc begins somewhere. And I figured let's just begin with your childhood. Can you tell me about what it was like growing up? It doesn't have to be a negative. Oh man, I'm fucking Bruce Wayne. I lost my parents. It can be anything. What was it like when you were younger?
So I always had a really good childhood. I grew up in a Christian household. I'm not Christian at the moment, but I grew up in a Christian household, family healthy, everything like that. Have a younger brother and a younger sister, and we were all very close to my parents. So I was a little bit chubby growing up. Kind of always copped a bit of flack for that. Always a very happy kid. Very, very healthy childhood.
You're quite the hardworking and goals-driven person now. Now, for a bit of context, before we get into I was a chubby kid and I lost weight and things changed for me, I relate to your story a lot because I was a chubby kid as well, right? And you were a funny guy. I've got this theory that I don't want to use the wrong words here, but the fat kid or the kid who was chubby is always the funnier one because they kind of had to be as a kid.
If you want to fit in, you have to compensate, man.
In primary school, that's how I made my friends. I wasn't very good athletically. I don't know if I was the smartest yet. I was a happy kid. I wasn't I'm going to get an A on my report card in year 3. I was just a normal kid like you, but being on the chubbier side, you learn to be quite funny.
Yeah. If you want to, the popular kids, you got the sporty ones and that. And if you want to fit in, you can't afford to talk shit, man, because you cop it straight back. You know what I mean?
So going back to that time, I don't want to get straight into the struggles because I know that your gym journey sort of started out of just casually getting a membership one day, and we'll get into that. Was there anything back in that time? Because for me, when I was chubby, I look back on it and I can see how I felt and I can see the negativity I had when I looked in the mirror. But again, like you, I was quite the happy kid. I love my Harry Potters, Lord of the Rings. I was a bit of a dork, drawing pictures, playing Lego. There was nothing, I was fat, but it wasn't that deep, right? I didn't realize that it was that deep until I lost the weight and realized how insecure I was without being in shape, right? Yeah. For you, is there anything you remember about that time of not being this fucking hunk of a thing you are now? So that's that hunk of a thing. Oh God.
God damn,
sorry,
brother.
everybody anyways, point being is anything you remember about the time before you started at the gym where you struggled mentally or with the way you looked or anything like that?
Yeah, so definitely in primary school, it wasn't really a problem. It was more so when I got into high school. I used to work at Macca's, so I got pretty chubby off of the discounted meals. But yeah, definitely towards high school, I got a lot of flack for it. Pretty much just like my friends would like, scoop my titties, pretty much rub my belly. I was pretty much like the pinnacle of the jokes. And I suppose
Me too, bro.
I suppose like you kind of like to kind of make it go away and distract yourself, you'd like make fun of yourself and like kind of throw yourself under the bus. But like you're feeling me on that one? Yeah.
The touching of the titties, I see it now. Like my friends, even though I've lost weight, they still come up for me from behind. They grab me. Like there's memes about it now that they'll send me like the experience of the fat person was that you always got hugged and embraced.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that. It was nipple cripples. It was like grabbing. Like I remember I'd be sitting in psychology class. This was in high school, even when I'd lost weight, because it never leaves you. People still. Do some of your closest friends still treat you like the fat kid?
Oh yeah.
I have a friend. I'd be sitting in psychology class and he would reach over to like a lot of people would like reach over and ask a question. He would reach over and just grab my fat roll and just hold on to it while the teacher was talking. And he'd be like, whoa. And then like a couple of weeks later or a couple of months later, he'd go like, fuck, that's a bit more to grab, isn't it? Like, it's just, anyways. Let's get into, so at that stage, obviously you were the pinnacle of the jokes, but obviously being the funny kid, you were probably okay with it at the time. Looking back, you're glad you made the change. Let's get into the part where you did make the change. And can we establish as well that maybe where you were coming from with that change? Because again, it might not have been such a negative thing at the time. It doesn't, being fat doesn't mean that your life was horrible and everything's unhealthy and time to change.
Yeah.
What led to the change and why, and what was it like back then?
Yeah, so pretty much I had a friend and we kind of would talk a bit about getting a membership, nothing really serious. And we never really got around to it. And then one day I was just on the couch eating a box of barbecue shakes and he gave me a call and he's like, oh, the Snap Fitness in our town is doing a deal. Let's go down and grab a membership. So we went down, signed up and had like a free PT session. And after that, it was just like, I was hooked. It was just something clicked in my lazy fat ass brain that this is good. I want to do this.
How old were you at this point, Luke?
Just turned 16.
Just turned 16.
Yeah.
My question to you is, because I've got this little quote here about the fact that you lost 25 kilos in 6 months following Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's workout plan.
That is true. So I had no clue what regime to follow. So I went to YouTube, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's workout plan.
And that's how you did it.
That's how I lost 25 kg.
The reason I bring that up is because I've seen in videos where you said, and just like you've said now, I joined the gym and for some reason it just clicked. It clicked for me. What I want, because you're in your position now where there might be people who are going to the gym and it doesn't click. They're looking at you hoping that you've got the secret sauce or the magical pill. I know there never is one. Yeah. But what do you say to the people who have just joined for your reason or for other reasons, but it's not clicking for them? They're struggling with, they don't know what to do. They're struggling with confidence issues. I remember the first time I went to the gym, I was probably 13? Yeah. 13. I remember not knowing anything in there. And it was like, I had to learn, obviously watching YouTube videos while I was on the treadmill. But what do you say to those kids?
Definitely. So for confidence wise, you literally got to realize that everyone in the gym is doing their own thing. You'll be surprised that no one is actually watching what you're doing. So you literally, and also you got to have the mindset of you are making yourself better. So if you feel like you're looking goofy or whatever, you're on the right track. If you just keep showing up and keep doing it, you're going to get the results. And I feel like a lot of people at the start get really overwhelmed and they're they go for a week and I'm not seeing anything, but it takes time and you literally have just got to realize you're doing it for yourself, and if you stick to it, it'll work out. And
it's interesting the point about you're there to grow, right?
Yeah.
And obviously even now when I go to the gym, and I've been going for 3 years, I've paid a PT to teach me, I know how to work out. The only reason I'm not in the best shape is because I eat too much, and that's my fault.
Mate, I relate to that.
Yeah. For the people, where was I going with that? Everyone's there to improve, Luke, right? And for the people who are worried about being judged, I think too often people forget that everyone else is too worried about being judged to go and judge other people. And for the ones that are judging other people at the gym, Joey Swole's going to come get you, Brad.
Yeah.
But not just that. It's also not just that, but it's also well, then you're probably not in the same grind of being there to improve yourself.
Yeah.
You don't really belong there, man. Yeah. So firstly, don't stress about what other people are thinking, because you're going to be all right. You're there to grow.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like you said, consistency, things take time.
Yeah.
One thing I find about that as well is it's interesting. What you've just said is not new information, right? All of the people you look up to have said the same thing.
Yeah.
yet people struggle. So you say, guys, you're going to be doing this for a week. You're not going to see progress and you'll be wondering why you haven't seen progress, but you got to take time. They've probably heard that before.
Yeah.
Why is it that they still struggle after that first week? What is it that you think? Is it their mindset about how quickly the goal should come?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I don't know. It would definitely differ from person to person. And like you said, it's not new information. Yeah, honestly.
But we all still struggle with it. I knew that. But when I don't see progress, I'm still scratching my head saying, why is there not progress?
Yeah.
The time horizon, people just need to be like, you know what, minimum 6 months. 6 months, I'm not even going to have a conversation about it.
Yeah, I just don't think put like a time frame. Like a lot of people would be like, oh, in 6 months, I want to like. I think you just got to not put a time. Like you just got to do it, man. Like,
yeah. What did 16-year-old Luke say to himself when he joined? It was just like, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to learn. No goal.
I was happy. I was having a lot of fun. Like I just was enjoying it. And like, I feel like it was before that whole like she left me era. Like, you know, it was like really like going to the gym, we just went for fun. Like it was just like happy experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also I think starting with a friend like really helps. Once again, not new information, but starting with like, you know, a close friend definitely really helps. And it kind of was tough for me because the mate that I started with, he only went for probably like a few weeks and then he stopped. So he was really skinny and I was really fat and we were like, oh, let's try and meet in the middle. So yeah. But he kind of fell off. So that's something I also had to deal with, like kind of like falling in love with the gym, and he stopped going and he would like pick me up in that. So like then I had to start getting like a mum to take
the habit.
Me. Yeah, and just keep going by myself because
Okay, so along the way, obviously you've done your Dwayne the Rock Johnson. You've learned a lot. You've learned on the go. You now like this place, and yes, you're not. I nearly used the hunk word again. You're not what you are.
No,
so I had to play into it, guys. You're not what you are now, but you are also in better shape than you once were. Can you talk to us about some of the other benefits you found from going to the gym that wasn't just you growing yourself?
Yeah, so definitely apart from physicality, there are a lot of benefits. So for number one, I got a lot more respect from people. So instead of like people making fun of me and stuff, people were actually asking me for help. They were saying, oh shit, this guy's actually like he's actually making progress. Cause like people will go to the gym and like, you know, I've gone to the gym with plenty of people that I see and like, they just look the same. Whereas it's like when you actually see somebody actually changing, like you see their face get skinnier, you see them looking better in clothes. You're like, holy shit, this guy is actually like doing it. So definitely a massive was respect factor, as well as like being more motivated to actually do other things. So like, at the time I was young, so I didn't really like work on any like side hustles and stuff. But 2 years after I started going to the gym and I started making TikToks, like I was really like motivated to keep going as well. So if you have like going to the gym can really boost like your productivity and all that sort of stuff as well.
It's like that mentality that you gain from the hard work, the persistence, the consistency at the gym.
Yeah.
You've now got a muscle and a skill that you can now apply to any other thing.
Yeah.
If I want to pursue this relationship, if I want to pursue this new skill, I want to help other people do the same. What does it require? Input gym rules. Show up.
Exactly.
Work harder. Extend yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's given you a whole life skill.
100%.
Okay, cool. For the people, obviously this is a life skill, and I think I've seen on your story that you've been saying if anybody wants to be online coached or you want advice, is that something that you're looking to do in the future?
Yeah. So as of late, I've had like a lot of DMs of people asking me to help them. And I think it's like, I'm at the point where like, all right, like I'm ready to do this. Like I'm actually ready to start like properly, you know, I've made content that's like free. People can watch it and get motivated on their own, but like, I'm actually ready to like, help and actually like properly chat, like give advice one-on-one and actually work with people.
And even from that confidence perspective of your own, like I find it's a lot easier, especially from a business perspective, if you've done the thing that you're trying to sell people, and by selling, I mean help people, right? If you've done the thing that you're trying to help people with, it's not only easier to sell, but it's actually better for the person because you have the proof.
Yeah, I've done been through it. I made it out the mud.
I love that. Okay, well, the next thing is okay, we've talked about the benefits that you've seen from your time changing your life at the gym. We've talked about your ability to take those and learn them into skills. And, you know, yes, you grew up on the, I hate using the word fatter side like it's some horrible thing.
Anything you want to call it.
Chubbier, right? I want to talk about the way of the world at the moment and in terms of culture, because obviously the people listening to this podcast have a high chance, regardless of what body weight you are, what body type, what personal habits you have, we're all just looking to strive and grow, and regardless of how, right?
Yeah.
From the body weight side of things, though, I'm a little bit scared on how to approach this question. You had a video. I'm just going to read out some of it to you, and I want you to break it down. I'm going to read it to you.
Go for it.
All right. So before I started going to the gym, I used to be a fat cunt.
That is true.
Pretty much every day I'd cop shit from my mates for being a fat ass. They'd flick my man boobs, they'd rub my belly, the lot. But the thing is it's that shit. The thing is that shit was done with love. You see, as boys, we take the piss out of each other because we love them. If you don't take the piss out of your friends, then they're not really your friends. What I'm saying is, over time, this kind of pissed me off and I realized I was fat and unhealthy and I wanted to do something about it. So even though my mates took the piss out of me, it led me to buy a gym membership. And after buying that gym membership, I accidentally got a little bit jacked. Now, the question I have here is, what are some of the problems that might arise when people aren't honest with themselves or their peers? Because you've come from a perspective of, it was the same. My friends always called me fat. They give me the fat jokes. I was the butt of every joke. And it really motivated me. That It was like scolding. Like, you think of a footy locker room, everyone will call that a toxic place. Yeah. And I see why it's a toxic place, because it's bullying, harassment, horrible shit happening. Yeah. But it actually hardens you as a person. And I'm not saying that this is the way the world needs to be, but I also see the value in it. And obviously so do you. Yeah. What's the other side of that?
The other side of, sorry.
Well, the other half of your video is you talking about the friends who don't tell you that truth.
So a lot of people, sometimes people are like, too scared to say anything. Like, if you have like a fat friend, like more so with like females and stuff, for example, they might tell their friend they look really good, and they like kind of ignore the fact that like, okay, this person might be a little bit unhealthy.
So body positivity for the sake of body positivity. Yeah, full stop.
Yeah. So exactly. So sometimes like I'm all for body positivity, but I feel like a lot of the times that can get taken the wrong way. It can get ignored. And I definitely think that the good side of body positivity is, kind of addressing it a little bit and like, kind of using it to, become better, I suppose.
Because you mentioned in your video, like there was a scenario where friends hype up, let's say there's an overweight friend. And again, I'm not saying that being overweight's a problem. Neither did you, because you've actually said, now by all means, I'm not saying you have to go to the gym and you have to be in shape, but are you really happy if you're unhealthy? Which I think is the right question to ask. Your reality was, friend tells overweight friend that they're fine, they're good, they're sexy, they're happy, everyone's going to love them. Yet then they're in the club later that night and no one's paying attention. Again, not that needing to be paid attention to is the goal of life, but let's just say you're out to go meet people and suddenly you're in the corner by yourself and you thought that you were attractive because all of your friends were telling you were attractive, but now reality doesn't match. You're saying that those friends are actually doing you a disservice by not telling you the truth. Yeah. Maybe there's a point of advice there for, let's say we are going to approach this way of honesty. Perhaps we really need to get better at learning how to deliver that feedback.
Definitely. It's very hard to like deliver that. Like, you're not going to go up to your friend and like, you're fat, you need to change.
I mean, that's what happened to us.
But that's what happened, but like that isn't the way like you kind of necessarily have to go about it, for sure. I definitely suppose like, as for me, I really appreciate that fact, like that tough love. Just kind of like letting people know that like, that tough love can help you grow sometimes. And, it's kind of healthy in a way, for sure.
Like my nonna, for example, old fashioned old lady. I love her. She is my superhero. She's my mascot. She's everything to me, right? If she sees that I've gained a little bit of weight, oh, Marcus, you're looking a bit chubby.
Marcus, you're a bit fat.
This shirt is now tight on you. She doesn't say that to hurt my feelings. Yeah. She doesn't have a bone like that in her body. She's not trying to hurt anybody. She's just saying the facts. Yeah. Obviously, our generation, which is, hey, would you like to come to the gym with me? Or like, how are you feeling at the moment? And you don't address physically how they look. But do you have any actionable points of advice to friends out there who want to look after people but don't want to hurt people's feelings?
Yeah, I suppose if you kind of do have a friend, like I've had friends that are skinny, I've had friends that are overweight, and they've come to me and they've literally said like, hey, like I've seen what you've done and like I'd love to like work out with you and I'd love to make a change. So definitely people seeing like my story and like seeing the things I've talked about has definitely inspired them to, to actually want to be better. And I'm like a big advocate for, like addressing it and like kind of making fun of it and stuff. So yeah, I think people have seen that, and that's definitely inspired them. That whole tough love, that's always what I've believed in.
And I think from a creator's perspective, when I saw you post the video that I'm talking about now, it resonated with you, inspired me, because I went through the same thing. But it's the fact that you've been through the thing and you're coming at it you're not saying, hey, if you're this, then it means this. You're saying, hey, I was this and this was my experience, and therefore it is 100% true. No one can contest you on what that is, because it's the truth, right? Now, you're a big guy. You're coming onto social media now to not just post gym content and not just post funny content. You will also sometimes litter in some serious stuff like this, which I really like.
Yeah.
That had to come from some sort of learning. You've got a really, really strong mindset. You know what I mean? Obviously, we've still got a lot to go. We're always growing, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
What I mean to ask is, you've come a long way, but is there anything, so your hardware, let's think laptop wise, your hardware is super strong and updated, but your software is your brain, right?
Yeah.
And that always needs its own updates.
Yeah.
From a software perspective, is there anything that's still from the past that you haven't really let go of? Like, is there anything that haunts you about when you were a kid and you were fat? Like, I know me, even when I've been in the best shape of my life, I'll look in the mirror and I'll still see that fat little kid.
100%. Yeah.
Anything that you still struggle with now despite the hardware?
I definitely would say on social media, like there's a big pressure to, if you're an influencer, like to be shredded and like have like a six pack and that. And I suppose like, yeah, growing up fat, I've always had that like in the back of my mind of like, oh, I don't really like, I don't really look the best, or like on social media, like, oh, I'm not as shredded as those guys. And I feel like that's something I definitely struggled with. And it's only been until recently where I've kind of realized like, that actually doesn't really like matter so much. Like most of the time, like those guys that are shredded, like they don't really have like a personality. They don't have like, they don't, I don't know.
They've got this physique, but you're saying that comparison killed the cat in this situation. You're saying if I'm happy with me and I'm working and only battling against myself, it's a lot easier to be happy with myself than to look at everybody else. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. You pretty much like to remember, like not to compare yourself like to other people. Like I've take a step back and I've realized how far I've come personally, and that I'm only competing against myself. Like I'm my own person. Like, yeah.
It's interesting the way, like for me, I really love to look at other people and be inspired. Yeah. But then there's a line, you can have this, but yeah, you can have that. There's a line between like drawing inspiration from people you look up to and it's slowly becoming a fixation on what do they have that I don't. Yeah. Like I do that with a lot of creators, but then you realize, and again, we're not saying anything new. This isn't some special piece of information, but unfortunately it's still the truth. You just don't know what's going on the other side. Yeah. Yeah, they might have a six pack for the video, but what if there's some other shit that you don't want from their life? You know what I mean?
100%.
Another thing on mindset that you talk about, Luke, is discipline. You talk about it a lot, and I know that's a massive thing for people who go to the gym, who want to be healthy, who want to eat right? And you've spoken about this danger, and I'm going to put quotation marks here, of folding even just once. You use the word folding, and then you talked about like, maybe you're talking about a car. I don't remember specifically, but that little one piece of chocolate, despite it being the one piece of chocolate, yes, of course, we can argue the balanced argument of like, have your one piece of chocolate if it means you get the goal done. But sometimes taking that one piece against the rule you set for yourself is just as bad and the first crack of breaking down the whole wall of every other rule you've set. Yeah. Can you break that down for me, what discipline means to you?
Yeah, so pretty much like, especially when you're starting out, it's really like you just build this mental barrier. Like for me, when I first started, like I got addicted to the gym, I got addicted to living healthy. But yeah, I feel like if a lot of people will go for a bit and then they'll slip up, and then that one little slip up, that will mess up their whole progress. It will mess up their whole mindset, and they'll literally quit and like give up because they slipped up. And I feel like, yeah, that's more important in the starting progress for sure. Cause now I kind of, I like to go out and have a drink with my mates.
You do have a good balance.
I like to eat a zinger box here and there, but because now I have experience, like I can get back on track. Whereas I definitely think in the start, a lot of people can slip up and they'll throw everything away, hand in their gym membership, and like, yeah, it can
extreme.
Mess it up.
It's interesting. Maybe I need to rephrase the question of, it's dangerous to fold even just once. It sounds quite extreme, right? And based on what you're saying, you have one setback and then you quit the gym altogether. That's actually worse than if you're just consistent.
Yeah.
Perhaps the thing you never fold on is the consistency.
Yeah.
So if you do have the slip up or you do eat that piece of chocolate, the fold isn't that you ate the chocolate. The fold is that you didn't stick to your regime despite the hiccup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you have any tips and tricks for the young ones who are learning discipline?
Yeah, so I definitely think the main tip is just to not be hard on yourself. It's a marathon, not a race. You got to realize that, like, you got to if you enjoy the process, you're gonna stick to it. So if you restrict yourself, like, oh, I'm not going out, I'm not eating nothing, like, it's actually unhealthy for you, because the gym isn't also like, it's not all about being physically healthy. It's about also keeping like your mind healthy as well, because you can get into a really like dark place if you're just trying to chase like looking good. So yeah, definitely just enjoy it, find a way to enjoy the process, find that healthy balance, and yeah, you'll be okay.
One thing that I've found with discipline, and again, for someone, I've said it before and I'll say it again, discipline is my strongest asset and also my biggest weakness, right?
Yeah.
But the issue is that discipline is in the equation in the first place, and I'll tell you where I'm going with this. For so long, guys, like, especially in winter now that it's been massively cold, I want to wake up early. And I know people will say, well, why does waking up early mean that you're a productive person? What if you do twice the amount of effective work getting up at 10? Like, who cares when you get up as long as you get the thing done, right? For me, I know I work best in the morning, but I also love sleeping in. But for me, it's not about whether I slept or didn't sleep. It's the principle of, I said I was going to get up at 5:30. I want to be up at 5:30.
Yeah.
And this winter, I've been failing day in and day out. Where I'm going with this is, you could argue, yeah, if you had stronger discipline, you get up at 5:30, or, because of your weak discipline, you're not getting up at 5:30. Where I'm going with this is, there's this thing called optimal defaults, which I really like, but obviously I'm not enacting properly. It's finding ways and systems in your life, regardless of whether it's for work, health, business, relationships, finding little levers in your life that take the need for discipline out of the equation in the first place. So let's say my goal was, I want to get up at 5:30. Step number 1, set an alarm instead of hoping for your brain to wake yourself up. Now, that's very, very obvious. Other things you could do, and these are just ideas, and I feel like such a hypocrite because I can't fucking do it. And obviously I don't want it bad enough. Otherwise I would have enacted these. Sorry, I'm just trying to be honest about being a hypocrite. Sorry about the car, guys. Another optimal default would be to set your phone outside of your bedroom so that it's way harder to turn that alarm off when you wake up. Another thing would be setting automatic lights to turn on at 5:30. Another thing would be packing your clothes and having them set up ready to put on straight away. All of these things that, like, when you wake up at 5:30 and that alarm goes up and you do wake up and you look at your phone, you're like, oh, fuck this, mate, snooze. If you just everything's already done for you. You don't want all those steps in front of you. What would be some optimal defaults for getting yourself to the gym when you can't be fucked? What do you do?
When I can't be asked, number one is just like, music is a big thing for me. Like, I feel like, music is so important. So the nights that I literally cannot be asked, I put on my headphones, I put on my playlist, and I just think about like why I'm doing this. You have got to have a strong motive behind what you are doing, because if your motive isn't strong enough to like get you out of bed, then like
nothing pulls you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you got to realize like why you want this. Yeah.
I've heard people say, put your shoes on. Start there. Lace your fucking shoes up. A lot of people, one that's really helped for me is like, there will be so many times where I genuinely have a real reason why I might need to skip the gym. Like, I'm actually genuinely working. I'm not going on, I'm actually still, there's a deadline that needs to be met, or I'm in the flow state and I'm not going to stop my flow state to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Sorry about more excuses. But like, one thing that's really helped me during the times where that line is a bit blurred and I probably should just go to the gym, it's drive there.
Yeah.
Just drive there.
Yeah.
You don't need to be like, oh, fuck, I'm so tired. I've been working 12 hours today and I'm meant to have this giant workout. I'm not going to go. I'm just going to drive there. I'm going to go through the front door. And once I'm in the front door, I'm going to work out. And maybe you have a really good workout. Maybe you have a shit one. But what was the goal? Consistency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyways, moving on. So you've got this mindset. We've talked about now your hardware and your software is upgraded. One thing that happens in life, especially at our age as we are maturing, is finding partners, Luke. And
Yes.
I watched one of your YouTube videos and I'm going to read the words you said and I agree with them very much. I've had the same girlfriend now for 3 years. We broke up when we were younger, but she was also with me in high school as well.
Okay.
I love her to bits. She supports me like no tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky.
That's great.
You have talked. Okay, ready?
Here we go, brother.
Here we go, brother. I wanted to read in your accent. Girls is a weird thing for me at the moment. I've been through a lot of talking stages and they all have one thing in common. They didn't all turn out so well.
Yep.
Why? Well, there are two different types of girlfriends. One, the ones who distract you and throw you off your goals, or two, the rare ones that have goals, aspirations, and know what they want in life. My question to you, Luke, why do you want to avoid option one? And what's been your experience?
Yeah, so option one is I have spoken to a fair few girls, and I think that a lot of them can actually make you feel like really comfortable, you know, like you might want to come over to their house, like watch a movie. That's fine. But like, I feel like if you're someone who actually like wants to do something yourself and you've got goals, I think that, you can definitely get thrown off and you can kind of like, when you're single, you can be, you know, you can have everything going. And I think that it's very easy to get sucked into throwing like away your dreams because you get comfortable. I think comfortability is something that is actually quite dangerous because when you are comfortable, you don't want to test yourself. You don't want to take risks. So I think that, speaking to some girls, although they can be extremely beautiful, they can be fun, they can make you happy. They can kind of, like knock you off your grind, which can be a dangerous thing.
Mm-hmm. So almost regardless of who it is, whether they are option one or option two, it's heading into any relationship or heading into any talking stage, knowing exactly who you are first. And I know that seems easier said than done. You're an 18-year-old, you don't know who the fuck you are. I mean, I'm 23, sometimes I don't know who I am, but maybe it's at least knowing like, well, these are the things I stand for, these are my values, and these are my priorities. Now I'm going to hope to attract the type of person that's the same.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I know, like, sorry to out my little sister, but she's wanted a boyfriend for ages, right? She goes, I just want a boyfriend. I say, Ariel, what do you like?
Yeah.
Who are you? What are your goals? What and I asked her all these questions. I said, wouldn't you just want to find someone that supports that? And she goes, most of her answers to the questions was, I don't really know.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, then how are you going to attract? And we might not have even been talking about boyfriends. We were talking about friends in general.
Yeah.
I said, your vibe attracts your tribe. Sounds really wishy-washy, but it's the truth of like, if you're putting out who you are, like you talked about aura points on the phone earlier, right? Your aura will attract the people around you, and because yours is strong, because you've been through this adversity, you know what you want, you know what you're after. It's pretty hard not to attract option two, right? Yeah, I mean, speaking of option two, being the ones that are the rare ones that support you. Now, let me clarify one thing. Sorry, before I get into the question, you mentioned, Luke, the ones that you might watch movies with that'll slow you down.
Yeah.
I watch fucking so many movies with my girlfriend. I fucking love it to death. But that is what helps me get to my goals because I need that rest.
Yeah.
So to clarify, I think what Luke was saying there was like people who are part of that rejuvenation towards the goal, someone who doesn't drain your energy but gives it to you regardless of how. Maybe your special habit is eating junk food together. I don't fucking know, but someone that supports it. Is that right?
Yeah. No, I probably did word it like a little bit wrong, but yeah, pretty much just someone that like builds you up.
Yeah.
Sometimes people like feel lonely and they like just look for someone to be there with them, like just because, you know, not because they need someone, they just feel lonely.
So they settle for anything.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas I feel like, you need to, let something come to you that is like actually like benefiting you. Yeah.
Okay. So I was going to ask you, what's your advice for the people trying to find option two, or how do you align yourself with the right people? But we've kind of just touched on that. What do you say to the people that aren't quite, they're ready to settle for anything, bro? They're ready and they are feeling so lonely that, you know what, a girl is showing them attention. Yeah. Oh my God, this is amazing. I'm in a relationship now.
Yeah. So for myself, right now, I definitely feel like I don't have a girlfriend and I definitely feel like ready for one. So I feel like from my past experiences, I've definitely like learnt a lot, and like I'm at the point where like, you know, if something comes my way, if her values match mine, if she, you know, builds me up to be better, if she builds me up, like she like, you know, helps me to motivate like my personal career, then that's definitely someone that I'm willing to put my effort into for sure.
I feel like we're in a culture now, and it's just clicked in my head as well, because I'm with you on that. Like for me, and I've always said to my girlfriend, especially when we started, I was like, my business is my number one. And so many people look like all of my close friends' girlfriends are like, Marcus is a fucking asshole. Why would he ever say that to his girlfriend? But I've been honest about it from the start. I love you. I want this to work. But right now, you know, I'm 23. I live at my parents' house here. Now's the time to take risks and push. 100%. I don't want to look back. And you know what? Considering you are the right person and you are the option 2 who I want to be with, the rewards that come, they're for us, right? But right now I need to focus. It's my number one. I had a really extreme mindset on that for a bit, Luke, to the point where our relationship actually started suffering. Yeah, right. Now I've sort of pushed into it, and I forget where I was going with this, Luke. The idea that right now we're in a culture where, you know, males who want to push themselves and become this best version. I don't want to use the word sigma.
Oh, don't. What sigma?
But you get the point. Like this culture of men need to be alphas and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Another thing that I think would be something to consider is, yes, Luke is 100% correct, and I'm with him on this, that you want a girl who supports your dreams and goals. 100% as a male, that's something. But alignment doesn't just mean that she supports your dreams and goals, because what if you are that kid who's 18 who doesn't know himself but has found a really good person? Yeah. Maybe that person is aligned because they help reveal something to yourself about you, or they help you grow to become better in the mind, or they are your gym. Like I've seen so many relationships as gym partners. What I'm trying to say is they don't have to be like, hey, I know we're 17. I really like you. We seem aligned, but you don't have a business or you don't have any goals. Therefore, I can't help you, and therefore I'm not the right person. It's, I want to help you be a better person. Yeah. Full stop. Yeah. So finding people that are just good people, right? Yeah. Cool. We're on creative work. Talk about who he is today and what he does. Okay, sorry. That was, you went, what do you...
What do you do, boy?
Sorry, that got awkward. What got you into content creation, Mr. Luke?
So it's a funny story. So pretty much, like I mentioned before, I used to work at Macca's, and one day I was sitting on the toilet and I was scrolling TikTok, and I saw this guy in a Macca's uniform. Shout out Zane, and he pretty much was like. He was like wearing his uniform. It was a bit oversized, and he was like, "Oh, they don't know what's under the uniform." So then I was like, "Oh, I reckon I could duet this," and it was pretty funny because in my Macca's uniform, like I was just like, it was too small. Like I was just like arms were about to bust out my sleeves as jokes. But yeah, I kind of just duetted it, and then so his first part said they don't know, and then I duetted it and wrote shit. I think they know because like my arms are just like busting out my sleeves. Yeah. So I just posted that. That was like the first. I think I had made a few like piss take ones when I was like 15, whatever. But this was the first kind of one I made in years. And I went to bed, didn't think anything of it. I woke up the next morning, it was on 1 million views. Fuck. I was like, what the hell, brother? What's going on here? So and that, I don't know, that just made me think, what the hell? Like, it just made me want to like do it again, see if I can get like another viral hit. And yeah, I kind of just started making, most of my first videos were like just in my bedroom, like not much effort, just an idea, a bit of text, a certain audio or music. And yeah, I just started going at it. And yeah, I started to get a few more repeat hits, and I was like, I want to keep going with this.
You know, for the people listening to this podcast right now, they're probably scratching their head like, fuck, this cunt's like the goofiest, weird bloke, funny guy on TikTok. I didn't know he fucking like believed in all this stuff. Like the thing I like about your content and because originally I found you on my For You page just from you being a fuckwit, like just funny shit. And then the more I watched you, the more I see that you litter in these little bits of mindset and things like that. What's it been like? I don't know if there's the right way to word this. I've watched your content and I like both. I love you in a fedora and I love you when you're talking about mindset. Both work, right?
Widowy.
You're widowy, so funny. Anyway, this part of me thinks, and maybe because I see it in myself, because we talk about the fat kid was always funny, or the fat kid always used jokes as his way out. Yeah. Let's get open with each other for a second and be honest with me. Do you find that you get away, and I say get away with like it's a problem, but like from a judgment perspective, even me having done this my whole life, I've literally been posting on YouTube since I was 13. Yeah. So I've been open to judgment forever, right? Yeah. Doing this my whole life, I still worry now about the stuff I post. Will I get judged for this? Yeah. What will people think? Oh, don't know about this one, da 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 da. And I feel more so about that when I'm talking mindset or I'm giving these motivational videos that you do. Do you find that you feel more confident in having done those videos because you back them up with like, hey, I'm serious, but it's all jokes, but I'm serious. Like you kind of use both.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. So yeah, I suppose some
am I on the money there?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I suppose some people can definitely, you know, they see this like funny, like, I mean, I wouldn't even say a funny character because like that is who I am. Like I'm not putting on it like I am who I am. I'm a yapper. Like you get what you get. You know what I mean? I suppose some people can kind of be like, when I am funny and then I do post like something serious and like kind of explain and open up my actual thoughts. So that definitely can, you know, definitely be a curveball for some people.
Because you drift between the two. I don't know if it, for me, if I were doing that, it's because I'm defending myself. I'm protecting. Hey, I'm serious. And if you don't like that, I'll just put the fedora back on. I don't know. Or is that just my insecurity coming out?
No, I just suppose like for me, at the start of making content, I definitely did overthink about like a lot what I did. Like, cause I am from a small town, like, you know, everyone kind of knows everyone. Like, you know, a lot of people knew who I was coming out the gate. And I knew in the back of my head, like, oh, relatives are seeing this. People I used to go to church with are seeing this. And I suppose at the start, like I was a little bit more nervous. And then I suppose like as I started to, you know, realize that this is something I could do, I just was like, this is, you know, I am who I am. You know, you're going to get what you get. And like, you know, whatever I post is, I did. Yeah.
And you know what I like about the way that you tell your stories of your past, because obviously your confidence has grown as you've gone up and you use past stories. It's very similar to how I do it. Especially in this podcast, I'm always talking about past instances. And where I'm going with this is for someone who only started content at what?
2 years, 2022.
You seem to have a lot of content of you as a kid. You have a lot of, it's almost like you've been documenting like when you tell me stories about you being a fat kid, you've got footage to show and now suddenly everyone's like, oh, I relate to that more because you've got this proof, right? What was the little kid in you? Because for me, I was inspired by the Casey Neistats. Andy Schrock, if any of you guys, he was an old skater that I used to watch as a kid. He got me into skateboarding, and then from skateboarding, it was vlogging, which was Casey Neistat, and then fucking Austin Augie, all of these people. You obviously, you've told this story about when you started TikTok. I saw this thing, I wanted to try it, I gave it a crack and it went well. Yeah. Were you watching other people as a creator when you were younger?
So ever since I was a kid, like I always was into drama. So I started as a theater kid. But yeah, I always made like iMovies with my cousins and my siblings. Ever since I was young, like I always loved acting. I always loved like making videos. And yeah, like you mentioned, like you have a lot of like videos and stuff from when you're kid and when I was starting out at the gym. But I think that when I did start at the gym, I think I was that confident in myself that I knew that I was going to like make something of myself, that like I was like, I'm gonna get so much footage. So when I've improved myself, like I have it to show.
That's the shit, bro. That's 100%. Wild. It's like regardless of where you're at, you've planted this seed. Like this is for the documentary.
Yeah, literally. I was like pre-planning the documentary.
Bro, that's why I started this podcast. It's just documentary clips after. I love that, dude. That is so cool. It's because I was wondering, like, some of the footage you've put up is in landscape. I was like, what the fuck's this kid filming in landscape?
I planned it out, brother.
All for the doco, bros. I love that. Okay. Speaking of filming things, especially at a young age, did you ever run into any hurdles filming yourself at the gym or making jokes online, and how did you overcome them? Because like you said, you came from a small town where everybody was going to actually not worry about that. Filming in the gym, what's that like?
Yeah, so at the start, the gym I went to was a very small Snap Fitness. Not many people went there at all, and I would always go there kind of like later at night. So pretty much, it was literally just me and my friends usually. So it wasn't too hard at the start, just setting. I did get a little bit nervous, like if someone came through the door, I was always like looking over my shoulder to see if like someone off the street would come in the door and scan in. But yeah, I just propped my camera up and just film myself. But yeah, I suppose at the start it was pretty easy for that. Like if there were a lot of people around, I wouldn't pull my phone out for sure. Yeah. But yeah, definitely.
You would now though. Yeah.
Now I still try and be like respectful. Like I try not to get people in the frame and that. But now, like, if I've got like a little cheeky pump, I definitely don't really think about it twice. But yeah. Can
you answer this for me? This is nothing to do with you and isn't even in my little question sheet here. We spoke of Joey Swole earlier, or at least I mentioned him.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me? Because obviously, look, I go to the gym. I'm there maybe 2 times a week. I'm not like you, right?
Yeah.
you're there a lot. You've been to a lot of gyms. You train with a lot of people. You even train interstate, right? So you're around the gym. You know gym culture. I'm sure you engage with a lot of gym content, as do the followers of yours listening to this right now. What's your opinion on the whole thing going on with filming at the gym and the disputes that are popping up left, right, and center all the time?
Yeah, so have seen like a fair few videos of like people like getting caught looking at people or whatever and stuff. But yeah, I definitely would just say like, even for myself, like even though like I am like a creator, even though I do have like a following, like I just always like try to like, you know, remain respectful and stuff. You know, try not to get people in the background and stuff. Because obviously like you want to, you know, you've worked hard for what you've got. Or like if you're starting out, you want to show, like you want to have that memory, or like you want to show that you are working on yourself. And it's kind of like good to go back on your phone and like, you know, see, you know, go back in time to see when you were, you know, where you started.
For the doco.
Yeah, for the doco, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah,
just leading with respect where possible.
100%.
And what does that mean? You're just like, hey, I really want to film this for myself, so I'm going to do it. But I recognize I'm in a public place and I'm going to be as facilitative as possible to whoever's around.
Yeah, 100%. Like even sometimes when I brought in like a tripod and that, just like always try and, you know, make sure like if there's people around, like I just say, hey, you okay if I like film this here?
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, just pretty much just like the gym is, no matter who you are, no matter if you have 1 million followers, no matter if you're just starting out at the gym, like, yeah, just always respectful space. It's a public area. Like if you're at a private gym, you want to do some trend twins screaming, like whatever. But like, yeah.
Trend twins?
Do you not know the trend twins are? What, brother, who is this?
Brother.
Who is this guy? Nah, anyway.
Is this his, bro?
They do. So they're these guys that do like really, they work out in like a garage. They just like slam weights. They're really loud. Yeah. So, but in the public space, like, yeah, just like, yeah, remaining respectful around other people.
I feel like we live in a world now where everything, especially when content creation, like a lot of people can build this whole following from their bedroom and never deal with the public or never interact with anyone but their followers, which are on a screen.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's almost bled into gym culture now, where it's like, I'm filming this for my followers. I'm here to make this content. This little section's mine, and real life outside of this little section doesn't exist. And that's where that entitlement comes from. And I fucking hate watching it.
Yeah. I hate it too. Trust me.
You didn't just walk through my fucking clip, did you?
Yeah. People smacking tripods and stuff. Get it? Oh.
But yeah, you're right. It's if we were to go back 50 years and introduce iPhones back 50 years, you're right. The best tip you just given there is, sure, you can be respectful, not make noise, try stick in your little corner. But the key there was talking to your peers.
Yeah.
Hey, we're in this room together. I'm going to say hello to you. I'm going to let you know what I plan on doing, and I hope it's okay. Yeah. That consent. People don't want to do that no more. People don't want to talk at the gym.
Yeah.
Hectic. Now, let's talk about content creation in general. You've told us your story about how you started, what you do now.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about the business side of your work? Obviously, you said you still work at a cheese shop, but you're looking to build this up into a full-time career. But that doesn't mean that you haven't discovered side hustles along the way and ways of monetizing what you do.
Yeah.
What do you do? What are your goals? What are you working on?
Yeah. So along the way, I have had sponsorships. So that's just been like commission based. So pretty much I like promote products that I like, apparel and supplements that I use, and then I get a commission. But I think after some time, I've realized like I kind of think there's more than just like commission, and there's more just like promoting for other brands. I think that it's only kind of really hit me lately. Like I actually like, you know, I want to actually make this my career, and I actually want to help people. So I kind of want to do my own sort of like thing. So like coaching, like I have been working on some shirts as well. You might have seen like the kind of like this guy needs a beer, and like I love MILFs and that.
Yeah,
just like
good.
kind of like jokey shirts. I feel like that's kind of like my own spin. But yeah, I definitely think that trying to really find that way to kind of like, you know, be financially free. And like I've got this following here, and the thing is I've always done social media like for fun. Like I've never had a goal in mind like I want to make money out of this. It's only kind of hit me now, because I suppose that now that I've actually like realized like I actually do have this following here, and I can make a career out of this, and I need to, you know, find some sort of service or product that I can offer that helps people.
And your content gets better when you've got more resources. Like it's that simple.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like, you know, I've always been a bit, and I'm only feeling confident to say this because I've done content for so long that I have the proof that fucking oath he did this for fun. He hasn't made money for 10 years.
Like
I
literally have made like not much money out of like until now.
And think about how much you've made in terms of content. Like you've made so much content. It's about time a return came. And I'm not saying that's the reason you got to do it, but it's also like you know,
at some point you kind of like, you know, like if I do want to make this my career, like you do, in order to make it your career, you do have to be able to make money out of it. So then I can say, hey, like I can leave my job now eventually when that time comes.
100%. And I really like that you're already of the mindset, because I remember when I was at 20, I'd probably just started the business, but I was a videographer. I still am, right?
Yeah.
Selling videos to other businesses. But now I'm at a point where it's like, hey, I've gotten so good at giving them this solution that helps their business. Why am I not just, because like you promoting an affiliate thing, you make a little bit of money, but you're promoting somebody else's thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, I've gotten so good at helping them promote theirs. Why don't I just build my own stuff and promote that?
Exactly. That's literally nail on the head, brother.
Because like it's your audience that you've built. What, you're going to send them out? I mean, sometimes there will be partnerships. Like for me, I've not done work with them yet, but they've sent me pans and I love them. Hexclad, right?
Yeah.
This isn't an ad. This is not an ad. I love their pans to death. I will happily promote them because I don't see in the next 5-year near future me promoting my own pans line. Yeah. I'm more likely to promote a cookbook or the notoriouslyhungryclub.com. Go and join it, link in bio. Guys, it'll be up and ready. I haven't fully announced it, but for those of you who are watching, you're an OG. This turned into a plug quickly. Point being is I don't see myself creating my own Hexclad pans. Yeah. So I'm more than happy to give the audience that value. Yeah. Because there'd be gym companies that you'd want to promote that can do something that's better than what you can do. And of course you'd promote them. Yeah. But for fucking I Love MILF shirts, let's go. Like that's legit. Okay, now we're on to the last legs. All right, this is the superset of the podcast. You like superset. These are some random quick questions. First one: go-to cheat meal.
Go-to Zinger box.
Why?
It bangs. It slaps. it hits the spot. It hits the spot.
Cool. All right, next one: training legs or chest.
Chest.
Why?
Come on, brother.
We're
not
You're gonna be so disappointed in me. So again, do you know who Tom Mather is?
Tom Mather.
Oh, he was.
He doesn't ring a bell.
Anyway, there was a stage there where I was training my four splits throughout the week. I was there all the time and I was actually looking half decent. Now I just go to not be fat, right?
Yeah.
I have not trained legs this year.
Money boy. Bloody fuck. Bastard bitch.
Bro, I mean, I train Muay Thai and I still run, but that's not training legs.
Yeah. Nah, far out.
I feel ashamed. I just let that out on air, bro.
You've been exposed.
I haven't trained legs this year. That's insane.
We're gonna have to hit a leg workout soon.
Coming soon.
All
right, next one. Girls your age or MILFs?
Look. My lawyer has advised me not to speak on that one.
Very well said. Go to alcohol.
I
have a guess. But you're gonna go.
Dude, I like to try a lot of stuff. I feel like...
Let's say it at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Bundy.
Cruises.
Oh, bullshit.
Double cruises.
Oh, I feel like you'd be like a Bundy sort of guy.
I love the Bundys, but if we're talking like to get charged quick, not the bottles. You won't catch me with the bottles. The double cruises, 2 standard, mate. 2 of them, and I'm seeing colours and I'm smelling sounds.
Okay, last one. Oh, there's 2 more. Biggest pet peeve, Luke.
Pet peeve. Damn. Biggest pet peeve. Fat people. No, I'm joking. That's horrible. Caught that. No.
Fuck. No. We should end the podcast right there.
All right, cheers for coming.
That's so good. Fuck. Shit. Oh, fuck. Biggest pet peeve.
Biggest pet peeve. I don't know. You got me stuck here.
For me, it's biggest pet peeve on myself and biggest pet peeve on other people. Stinky people. I don't like stink.
Yeah, you can't smell.
But I'm also more insecure about my stink than I am about being fat. For example, if I can smell that I stink, it's a problem.
Yeah, I'd have to agree on that one. If you're smelling, then what you doing, boy?
Last but not least, a secret passion or hobby of yours.
A secret hobby or passion? I'd definitely say my music taste. Definitely, I've got a quite what's the word? A large variety. Like I've a bit of Frank Sinatra, a bit of Dean Martin, but then also then I've got my techno and all that. So
and you screamo music, which you put on your stories.
So I'd definitely say the music I probably play in my car by myself. A bit of white girl music as well.
A little bit of Katy Perry for Wulffy.
The Katy Perry is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
But a bit of ABBA.
Okay, that's all of the questions. If you could give one piece of advice to the people watching right now, It doesn't have to be a God sent rule that they need to follow, but something that's really helped you with your life in general.
I would say as of recent, the biggest lesson I've learned is no matter what it's going to sound so cliche, but it's like literally like do not change for like anybody. Don't let other people sway who you are. I had it in my mind. I lost it.
You got this, brother.
Damn.
Brother.
Damn. I'm trying to think where I was going.
Believe in yourself. Don't let anybody sway your...
There we go. I'm cooking. Let me cook. Nah. Oh, now I lost it again. Fuck. Fucking hell.
We'll just start finding words out and it'll come out. I'm telling you. We're on the last leg, bros. It's here.
Sometimes people are only going to hate on you because they're scared of what you'll become. People will see like your potential, and we live in the country that we live in is like just tall poppy syndrome. People are going to shit on you if they see you doing good and see you trying to make something yourself, whether that is, going to the gym, whether that is, just trying to do better. So push past that, realize you are doing it for yourself, and don't give a fuck what anyone thinks.
Guys, that was the podcast. It's a Mouthful of Marcus. If you don't know Luke, go and check him out. His links will be here. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And train legs. Peace.